Chief Tom Hackney.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. This afternoon, I'm going to be talking about a case that we've been working since yesterday afternoon into the day, most of the day today. Yesterday, around 5:30 p.m. at the McDonald's at Emerson and I-95, between Phillips Highway and I-95. There's a family of four that were stopping by the restaurant and enjoying dinner at McDonald's when the two young children that they had, two young boys, needed to use the men's room. So this family sent the two young boys together into the men's room. A few minutes later, the older of the two, which is a 7-year-old, came out. The father asked where his brother was, who's a 6-year-old, and son was like, it's in the bathroom, I think. So the father went into the bathroom and concerned for where his 7-year-old was or where his 6-year-old was. From the end stall, a black male exited the end stall. The father, still concerned where his 6-year-old was, noticed that his 6-year-old was in the same stall that the black male had just exited. As he entered the stall to check on his son, he noticed that his son was kind of pulling at his pants and holding his pants together. The father, kind of shocked with what he had just seen, quickly put a 2 and 2 together and realized that something may have happened with his son for him and this grown man to be in the stall together. Father then exited the restroom and began to give chase to that suspect who had exited the McDonald's and was more or less fleeing on foot down Emerson underneath I-95 towards Spring Park. The father could see the man running, so he decided he would get in his car and attempt to find him. Gave chase again with him towards Spring Park and Emerson and was not able to find him again, so he lost him around that Spring Park and Emerson. The police were called, and then we began to go out there, and this 6-year-old wasn't able to, last night, give us a real good description about what actually had happened, and that's part of what today was with what detectives were doing, working forensic interviews, working medical exams on this child. And it's led us now, at this hour, to believe that we indeed did have some type of sex crime. Again, our details, unfortunately, are still limited with what actually may have happened in that men's room stall, but we do certainly feel like this was at least some sort of sex crime that happened between this male. Best we have is a 25 to 30-something-year-old black male in some varying form of dark clothing. We have possibly a black shirt, possibly a dark green shirt. We have some jeans, some lighter colored jeans to dark black shorts. And unfortunately, that's about the only description that we have at this time. We worked today and was hoping to be able to put some surveillance video out of a still picture from that for the public to take a look at. Our efforts are still continuing there, but at this hour, I do not have anything that's concrete that I could really put out for the public to take a look at. Again, that's some of what I was hoping to be able to get out, and detectives wanted the public to see, but I don't have that, unfortunately. So we're asking for the public's help. If anybody was in that area last night between about 5:30, maybe 6:30 p.m., that could have seen this occurring, could have seen this black male subject running from the McDonald's, again, running from McDonald's towards Spring Park and Emerson, and may be able to provide us a description, they can call the Sheriff's Office at 630-0500 or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-845-TIPS. Give that information to us. You certainly can remain anonymous, or if you have any other information as to what may have occurred. This area of that is a pretty frequently high traffic area, so we're hoping that somebody could have been in that area and seen what had gone on. The McDonald's folks have been very cooperative with us in trying to put this together to get this video out. Detectives have done that late last night and into this afternoon to try to find from the gate station, the Dunkin' Donuts, and some of these businesses unfortunately just don't have video that streams to the street, but that's what we went looking for. This certainly highlights, as a parent myself, the need to supervise your kids. You never know what's on the other side of a bathroom door. And this just highlights what needs to be done to make sure that you're attentive to them. And this opportunity comes with this, to have those talks with your children. And here are 6 and 7-year-olds, although they're together in a group, but there is some safety in numbers. The overabundance of caution just needs to be in parents' heads about what goes on, because you never know. These are publicly traveled restrooms, and that goes for boys and girls. You just never know, and one of use extra caution with that. In the next week or so, Duval County schools start Monday, and not only in response to this, but in response to some of the other crime involving children that we've had in the last couple of weeks, we should see an increased presence around Duval County Public Schools, both with the Sheriff's Office and other police agencies in that area. But again, we're asking parents with this to be vigilant with their children, to make sure that they know who they're with and what they're doing. It's a great opportunity, like I said, to review some personal safety plans that you may actually have with your kids, and talk about this. These are uncomfortable things to talk about with your children. And as a parent, I can certainly vouch to that. But when these kind of things happen, it's an unfortunate reminder to the parents that it's a necessary thing to do to have this. When it comes to school buses and going to the school bus stops, to have some plan in place to either take your kids there or maybe share responsibility with some other parents that are in that area. But again, some plan is better than no plan at all. Be clear with your kids who they can go and visit with after school, what they're doing, to have some plan in place for after school activities and after school hours if they're to be unsupervised for any little bit of time. And ensure that you have a talk with your kids about what they can and what they can't do. Safety online and safety, just stranger danger kind of safety. A lot of these public safety tips are available at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office website, and it is right there on our front page, jacksheriff.org. The officers in each one of our patrol zones will be passing out some bookmarks to kids and through the substations that give some of these things that I spoke about, just good safety tips to do. Again, if anybody has any information on this crime, and we're still developing information on it, still working through some of the leads, but if anybody has that information, we're certainly more than willing to take that information from them. Answer some questions?
Yeah, Chief Cole from Action News, does this MO or suspect's description match any other suspects you may be looking for in similar sex crimes, specifically the 8-year-old in Arlington?
By virtue of the fact that we have a black male suspect in both of these cases, geographically they're so far apart with it, and the MO, the method that happened here with the public restroom versus the wooded area with the Arlington case with the 8-year-old child, don't think that they're related, but that doesn't remove the need for hypervigilance with little ones.
What about other sex crimes involving children fitting that suspect description or MO?
No, there's nothing else that the Sheriff's Office is currently working that's of any similar nature of this. We went back quite some time to look for anything. Just as a standard course of an investigation, you want to see if there's other offenders who could be doing the same thing. And that's a lot of what we'll do, generally speaking, with sex crimes, but certainly in this, we'll look at sexual offenders and sexual predators in the area and begin to work through that as a standard list of how we would go conduct an investigation.
Are there indicators that this may be a homeless or transient man?
There were some thoughts of that, but I hate to put that out because I don't want to categorize where we're looking for. I mean, I have a clothing description and I have a description of a black male. I don't want to lead or remove something I can't be sure of, but I can tell you that age range between 25 and 30-ish, dark clothing, and that's what we have to go on. And that's kind of true with a lot of these child victims. You get just little bits at a time. These are traumatic incidents that happen to these poor little kids, and certainly our goal and the goal of the child protection workers is not to re-traumatize or re-victimize these kids by trying to get information, although that may not be the most expedient thing to work our investigation. Our goal is not to re-victimize these kids.
Chief, Ashley Harding with News4Jax. What about other patrons in the McDonald's? Could they have seen something? Have they spoken to you? Are they cooperating?
Yeah, everybody has been very helpful with this. There were some construction workers who happened to be working in the McDonald's at the time who have cooperated with us. If there's a person that we can kind of try to get a description from, we can. But unfortunately, at this point in time, we've got a lot of these different clothing descriptions that we've gone from. I mentioned some of the jean shorts. That's part of what one of the descriptions were. So I have to kind of make this a little more broad than we normally like to do. So,
was there evidence that the child was attacked or beaten at all, or potentially grabbed into the stall, or does it look like it was just more the trauma from the sexual attack?
It's honestly, it's hard to tell what actually occurred in that stall, but based on some of the statements that we had today from the forensic interview and a little bit from the medical exam, I'm pretty confident that something of a sexual nature did occur with this little boy in there.
So we can say, honey, with First Coast News, we can say that he was sexually assaulted in some.
It's a sex crime of some type, and to go into grave detail, I don't really know. That's part of the problem. But there again, there's something occurred in that stall, and obviously that grown man had no business in there with that little boy.
Joe Duraskovich with Times Union. Was there any interaction between the man and the other brother at all? Do you know?
No, we've interviewed the other brother, and it doesn't seem like the older 7-year-old had any interaction with this male. And I don't know if that's part of this suspect's method. Maybe he was, I just can't speculate. Maybe he was in the stall, came under, or I don't know.
Have any of the employees or patrons ever reported seeing this man before, or ever acting suspicious at the time of leading up to the attack?
Yeah, there are groups of homeless that are in that area, and you asked about the homeless. I can't tie him to that. That's part of what we've done today, and we'll continue to do into this evening, and as this case continues on, is to look at that and see if there is some relationship with folks who frequent that area. But that's just a kind of a standard matter of course with what we would do, and with this case to try to put this pieces together.
I guess not necessarily the homeless aspect, but just in general, this man may look familiar to anybody in terms of connecting the dots to making an arrest.
Yeah, like I say, outline some of those businesses that are in that area, the Dunkin' Donuts, the Gate Station. As you go underneath I-95, there's a few gas stations and a strip mall that's over there. Just what we've done throughout the day to try to go through those areas, canvass those businesses to see, based on this limited description that we have, did you see anything that occurred that night, or did does anybody ring a bell to you? Again, trying to put this together. So this is parents need to be vigilant, and it's certainly necessary for the sheriff's office to warn parents in this particular area about this incident that occurred, but also just in general, like I said before, it's that reminder to use extra vigilance with your little ones.
Chief, as a father and as a law enforcement officer, within a month, this is the third major, if you want to call it, crime involving a child. 2 of them we know are sex crimes. I mean, can you just tell us a little about reflecting that you guys are dealing with a high volume of cases involving innocent kids?
Yeah, this seems like a little bit more of a focus on child victims within this this short period of time that we've looked at. It provides, if there is any silver lining to it, it provides a window for the sheriff's office to yell from, to say, hey, keep an eye on your kids, be aware of these things. These are unpleasant things for anybody to have to think about or talk about or deal with. The sheriff's office opportunity to stand up here and put these facts out. The only good thing that could come out of it would be some prevention from it. What's already happened is horrible and tragic to each one of these little victims. But what could come out of it is the prevention that something like this may occur again. And if we can prevent one, man, it's all worth it.
Chief, I know you said that McDonald's was cooperating. As far as surveillance video, was there no video that they provided?
They provided the video that they had to us. Unfortunately, in this particular case, the camera angles weren't of any help to us, and that's why we've tried to go through some of these other businesses to see. We know he fled on foot, so that's what we've tried to do. At this point in time, I really couldn't get out here with any video to put out, because I certainly would hope that somebody would look at it, maybe recognize him. And certainly, if those efforts lead us to be fruitful, to come up with any images to put out to the media and for the public to look at, man, we're stepping out with that.
You said the family stopped on 95 to get something to eat. Are they from the area?
They're local. This just happened to be where they met up. They have one car, and they do a little drop-off thing there at the restaurant. They just eat dinner, just like hundreds of people throughout the day did. Thank
Any
you
other
all for your
questions?
attention.
All right. Thanks, Chief.